Is this the villain? This looks like the Hound Wolf Squad. What the hell? We also, oh yes, you remember how it said that there was like nuns or whatever? Remember there was like nuns in that clinic? I think these are the nuns. If not the nuns, then these are the nurses. That's what I think is basically gonna happen. There's gonna be 3 locations, right? There's the crime scene, and then hotel, and then hospital. Those are just 3 areas, and obviously we do know that, you know what I mean? Like we saw RC, so I'm assuming we're probably gonna go there later on in the game. So in today's video, we'll be looking at the latest trailer that was released by Capcom for Resident Evil 9 that confirmed a lot of the things that we kind of suspected. And thank you to everybody that basically sent me messages about this. I got a ton of comments, a ton of Discord messages of people telling me to react to this, to dissect it. And thank you to everybody as well that showed up live. I think we had more than like 30 people. So honestly, it was super fun to shoot this video live for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Yeah, so this is the city that I was talking about. We're seeing all of this, kind of her walking through. This is why it leads me to believe that this is the East Coast, right? And I'm assuming that that's where the hotel is just because of the rain, right? It's just, this is good that we're getting a closer look at this, because a lot of people were kind of assuming that this was all happening in Raccoon City specifically. I mean, it still could, but just the look of things, right? I mean it's something that I theorized maybe George Trevor, you know what I mean, was involved in making that hospital or whatever it was. I know people are saying it's a center, health center.
Oh, you're FBI? Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Yes, all of that just blew up.
Grace, stay close to me. I'm coming.
Yeah, this is the hotel.
Keep moving.
Can't believe I said the apartment.
What's wrong? I'll explain later.
Anyways, that's all good. I also heard too that now I don't know if this is true or not, but one of my viewers told me that this, or I also saw a news article kind of talk about this, so it kind of makes sense from both. I've heard from both people that people that were at PAX West or Gamescom, I think press got access to playing this kind of introduction sequence. So that would make sense. It seems like there's so much like secret stuff that they're showing, like press and stuff. I mean, I get it. They're trying to kind of, you know what I mean, showcase a bunch of stuff to people that have paid to go to these like game shows and stuff. All of that. It's all owned by the same dude, right? So, or I don't know about Gamescom, but yeah, I'm assuming, because we kept seeing Jeff Keighley or whatever.
I've been watching you.
Yeah, people were also saying that this was going to be Wesker. I don't think that makes any sense at all. Now, this right here, this looks like it's the hospital, right? Right now, from the outside, this looks like what I'm assuming to be that hospital area where she's kind of hiding from that thing. Again, it's raining, right? This is something that I've noticed. It just keeps raining. So I'm assuming that the location from where we saw the kind of her going into the FBI scene, which I'm assuming too, like the previous scene was also that same location, is also nearby this place, right? Because this is a working hospital. It's not like it's abandoned. It's not like it's been destroyed. We know that it's a working hospital because we saw, like in the first trailer, the nurse kind of walking by. And it also looks like too, when we saw that creature, the big freaking like the chick or whatever, like the 9-footer creature kind of walking about trying to chasing a Grace, it looked like that recently happened. Like she just went around and killed a bunch of the doctors, a bunch of the nurses. So that's what I'm assuming is happening. It's just speculation at this. Yeah, so the reason too that I think this is New York or just that East Coast area, I mean, Resident Evil has never really kind of gone out and said like made real cities, unless it's the CGI movies. The CGI animated movies they do. For example, they had New York in Vendetta, they had San Francisco in Death Island. But I'm thinking this is close to that area because it looks like it's the same architecture as George Trevor. So George Trevor definitely had a hand or maybe an inspiration for this architecture of this place. I mean, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together.
You're quite unique.
Okay, so wait, I want to go back here just for a second. I know this is the first time I've ever watched this trailer.
Quite
So we know that this right here in this screenshot, it doesn't look like she has a wound on her chest, because when we saw her upside down in the hospital, we kind of saw her have like bandages on, if I'm not mistaken, because she must have got hit or she got hurt. I don't know, but I'm not really seeing that here. So I don't know what part of the game this is.
Unique.
And then this, we know, I'm assuming that this location is actually the hotel where her mom, you know what I mean, died 8 years ago in 2020, judging by the game's timeline. I'm assuming that this is the same location. This is what we kind of talked about. And if we play just a little bit later, we kind of see that there's a destroyed area as well. But I don't know if this is the same location. This looks like when she goes in, she's walking in the rain and gets, you know what I mean? She gets led into that location. But I mean, it could be several locations that she's investigating where this guy is, this killer is. That's what I'm assuming. She could have just changed clothes. I don't know. Maybe that is right after the demo part. Well, the other thing too is that Resident Evil, they'll have like wounds and stuff, but you know what I mean? The characters do heal. Like I'm kind of just thinking out loud, like Resident Evil 2 Remake. When you get bit by a zombie, it looks like you have like a bite wound, but then it kind of slowly dissipates, right? So maybe that's what's happening. I mean, you could also make the counter as well that Leon, you know what I mean, getting shot or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like there's certain things that happen that stay, right? I'm also thinking like when Leon in OGRE4 gets like the cut on his face by Krauser, you know what I mean? Like there's certain times like that. So I don't know. But and the other thing too, I mean, you just mentioned about the clothes. One thing about the clothes too is that it seems like she's wearing the same exact outfit. So this is most likely all happening during a day, like in one day. Her kind of going to that like the rain area, the New York vibe area, and then her kind of walking into the investigation. She probably gets kidnapped there because we don't know. We know only bits and pieces, right? We know that she's in a hospital, and it looks like in the middle of the woods. She's in a hospital, and then you know what I mean. She's still wearing the same shirt, the same jeans as before, but obviously she doesn't have her jacket. So kind of like very similar to like Resident Evil 4, right? Like with Leon, where he, you know what I mean, like he's just missing the jacket because you know what I mean, it's the game's progressed, time has progressed. So
Tell me what's going on.
yeah, okay, so that right there is a huge clue, because I'm thinking this is the same location. This is just the location 8 years later, or somewhere's near the location, because she's finding images of someone that was taking pictures across like the street or whatever in that hotel, because we still haven't looked at the hotel, right? Unless that building that we saw was the hotel. It looked like that was a hospital. But anyways, what I'm getting at here is that I think this broken area, it either is either just a connection, because like I said, this area could just be what her going in through the FBI and seeing that kind of burnt area and stuff that we saw at the beginning, or it could just be the hotel 8 years later that's just been destroyed. You know what I mean? Because we know that the following scene with that guy, where he's like, "You're special, Grace.
Tell me what's going on.
You're special." Like this area also looks very, you know what I mean, broken up. So that's why it leads me to believe like this, she could be going to the hotel again, probably to look for this guy.
Unique.
Tell me what's going on. Something in
Isolation ward. Where is this? This right here looks like it's the hotel. So this right here, this kind of, all of this stuff on this side of the screen, it looks like a destroyed version of the hotel in that room that we saw in the 204 or whatever. What's also interesting too is that 204 is also in the clinic or the health center, whatever it is, the hospital, I'm gonna call it. That section, there's also a 204 section. That's why it was kind of trippy, right? So this is what leads me to believe that this is her returning to the scene of the crime where her mom died. This is what I'm thinking, because this right here, I don't know if you guys remember when we kind of saw her walking through with her mom. There's bits and pieces of this in this trailer, but it showed her going through. Now, what I find very interesting is that, like I said, it seems like she's returning to the scene of the crime of where her mom died, and then she finds someone, right? And as mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if her looking at the images is in the same location as this broken down hospital. I wonder if it catches on fire or if it's just abandoned. It looks like just abandoned right now, but just like these things on the over here, that doesn't look like it's a fire, right? That just looks like mold, like it's just hasn't been treated well. But we'll see. Again, this is what I'm ascertaining from just the footage that we've seen. But let's continue.
Mom, I'm scared.
Let's go back.
Mom, I'm scared. Grace,
What was that?
Grace.
What was that gun? Yo, do we have any gun guys again? That looks like an assault rifle or something, right? I don't know. That's I don't even know what that is. It looks like, yeah, like this gun is basically just going all the way from here, right? That's definitely not a handgun. That's crazy. Like, just there's the amount of, like, it goes even beyond the screen. I don't think that's a handgun. I'm not too familiar with weapons, but interesting. This is the room where we saw her kind of go in and then push something to over here. Yeah, okay, so this is just showing more of the sneaking of what the demo that we saw. Yeah. Also, why are we getting so much feet here, bro? Like, I don't want to see that. What is this? Quentin Tarantino is like probably saying absolute cinema. Anyways. Yeah, you see a shadow go past the door. Yes, in the door that looks like it's the hotel. So, by the way, if you guys are enjoying the content and you guys want me to make more of this, then let me know by leaving a like and also sharing the video. Just in case you guys didn't know, I am a very small content creator. And of course, having more subscribers does help me book more interviews like the ones you guys have seen on the channel where I speak to very famous voice actors. It would also help me get more collabs with bigger content creators so we can all hang out while I'm streaming a discussion with them. And it also gets me more invitations to special events, so I'm able to cover more stuff for you guys. But anyways, let's get back to the video, and thank you to everyone that's supporting the channel. Here, this right here again, right? This looks like it's an abandoned hotel just because, right? I mean, this is where he's like, Grace, you're special, you're unique or whatever. All of this, right? This looks like just an old hotel, and he's just using the fireplace waiting for her. So my guess is, I think Grace is probably gonna go over to the hotel where she was, where her mom died. She's gonna investigate. This guy's gonna freaking like kidnap her. You know what I mean? Like, I think Grace is gonna go to the FBI location in the city, and then she's gonna go to the hotel to look up the investigation, and then after she's gonna go to the hospital. Right? That's my guess. I didn't write that well. Hospital. Hospital. That's what I think is basically going to happen. There's going to be 3 locations, right? There's the crime scene, and then hotel, and then hospital. Those are just 3 areas. And obviously we do know that, you know what I mean? Like, we saw RC. So I'm assuming we're probably going to go there later on in the game. That would be so weird if we didn't go to like Raccoon City. Like, to be honest, that'd be so weird. Anyways, let's continue. I hope it's not just a tease, bro. That would be like this. That no, I don't buy that. That'd just be crazy. People would be so upset. Ooh, what is this? Huh, what is this? Yo, these are new enemies? Now, we did hear the director say that there was going to be zombies. They are going to be zombies. But, yo, what? Okay, yo, they're showing so much. Okay, we gotta go back. Okay, I just want to stop it right there. Hold up. Oh, that's too much. They're showcasing so much. All right, so here we go. So remember how we mentioned before that there was like a fire or something? What if the hotel or part of the hotel got caught on fire? That would kind of explain kind of like the darkness of the wall that we saw earlier on in the trailer. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Is this the old? No, I was gonna say, is that the old guy that we saw like the guy kill when they were like trying to get the lights on or whatever? The lights went off and Grace and her mom goes there. I don't think so, but this looks like it's the same. It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. But what if this was the hotel and this got all burned on fire? I mean, wait a second. This does confirm that, because just a couple of scenes after we saw that Grace says, like, she calls to her mom and it's on fire, right? Hold on, let me just spacebar this. Yeah, I was gonna say, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? And it's this. It looks like it's the same chick that she was that was just like a zombie. So this must be. And we also see the bandage. So this is in the hospital. This is definitely in the hospital. Hold up. Okay, this looks like it might be a hospital too. We also, oh, yes. You remember how it said that there was like nuns or whatever? Remember there was like nuns in that clinic? I think these are the nuns. If not the nuns, then these are the nurses. Oh, so yo, like, why, calm down. Like, this is what I was saying before, right? I was like, yo, why is Koshi Nakanishi taking so much inspo from like Silent Hill? You know what I mean? Like, the nurses there, you know, we're going to a hospital. Like, hey, Resident Evil 7 was just like basically PT, and what if Capcom did it? like, well, yo, call out. But yeah, I think that, yeah, this is definitely the hospital. So this looks like a nun. I mean, we did see that nuns are also referred to as like nurses as well, but I mean, she's got like a black outfit. So I'm assuming, yeah, Nun Zombies. I think so, right? Right? It was just me, or am I tripping? Like, it looks like that's it. I think that's what's happening here. These are Nun Zombies. Yeah, and this chick, so we know that this is still the hospital. So wait a second. This is something that I suggested before. This looks like the hotel. All this architecture, unless it's a completely different location. But there was something that I suggested in my previous dissection video. I said that the hospital and the hotel where she died might be in the same kind of building, and that it's just split into east and west, split into two. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically split like that, right? Now, the only reason I suggested this is because there was one hallway that looked like it was raining in the first trailer. That was kind of like going, like, it looked like there was like some curtains flying and there was like a broken window. Now, I don't know if that's enough to suggest this. Maybe it could just be that Grace is just encountering this chick several times. Because the reason I say that is because, you know what I mean? And only part of like the location got burned down. But there's problems. There's problems with that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of wishful thinking. I wouldn't put, you know what I mean? Like, it's something I suggested, but it's not something that I 100% believe. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, so this is what I was going to say. You see how there's like the brown areas here? This is obviously the hotel, because we know that she's walking. She literally just got stabbed. But this is the fire. This is huge, because we know that part of the hotel got burned down. So this is what we know, is that, you know what I mean, that when he was like, Grace and your special power, that location, it did look like it was broken down. Like, I wouldn't say it was burned 100%, but it looked like it was just neglected. But I'm assuming these are the same locations is what I'm getting at. Is she crying over Alyssa's? But yes. This is that same section where we saw it cut. It basically cut. This was at the Summer Games Fest, where we saw the killer kind of go from this side of her, the left side, and kind of go like that, and then it cut, and then we heard like the blood sound, and then it continued. So this is the same scene, but what we didn't know before, which was a huge difference, is that the fire. We know that there's obviously a fire that occurs in this hotel. Alyssa might be cooked. That could be her blood on Grace's face. Yeah. Yep. Okay, we're seeing Umbrella again. So this is something too that I was kind of suggesting earlier on. Obviously, we saw Raccoon City at the beginning, right? We saw Raccoon City, and my guess is that what if this is just another nest that nobody basically went to, right? A third nest, if you will. You know, in the remake, we had, you know, being the first nest, and RE3 remake, we had the second nest or whatever. What if there's another nest that nobody went to? And the bad guy, that's why it takes the story to Raccoon City, is because he's basically using research that they have there that was untouched by the explosion, or somewhere nearby, you know what I mean? But obviously there's connection with Umbrella, there's connection with Raccoon City. So that's what I kind of put two and two together. So it's interesting that we're kind of seeing, obviously this looks like it's an Umbrella logo it looks a little rusty, looks a little old. So, or who knows, maybe it's just them going to well, here's the thing. This is what we discussed last time. We saw that the Nest 2 had self-destruct, right? The one with Leon and Claire in RE2 remake, we know that one blew up. The problem is that RE3 remake, there was no like explosion happening. You know what I mean? Like there was no like self, you know what I mean, destruction sequence initiated. Like that didn't happen in RE3 remake. It was just basically Jill went to the rooftop. But of course, it was really close to the explosion, because you know what I mean? Like we saw that all just get exploded. So I don't know, it could just be like I said, just another nest that nobody went to. That's what I'm assuming. But let's continue.
There's no escaping your destiny.
Oh, wait. Is that a Magnum? Sheesh, yo. Is that a Magnum? Yo, okay, that's why I was like, this doesn't look like a handgun, yo, because it looks like it's huge. Okay, so, again, okay, so we know that this is the hospital. So wait, is she getting this big freaking gun? Now, wait, could this be like the Albert, like, W pistol from the BSAA that's like the version 2.0? You know what I mean? Like, you know how the BSAA worked on that Albert pistol from, you know what I mean? What is it, 001 or what? I don't remember the exact model, but the one you use in RE7 and also in RE8. Is this just like another version of that like Chris had developed or like BSAA had developed? You know what I mean? Like this is just that, because it would be weird that she has this kind of maybe it's not a Magnum, maybe it's just like its own gun, you know what I mean? Something that she's just used to fight, you know what I mean? Kind of like the mine thrower or something like that, something similar to that, where it's not just like a Magnum, because this feels like it's like the beginning couple of hours of the game. So that's the only reason I'm saying that, right? I mean, and also we know that this is still the hospital. Again, the lighting is all very white, you know what I mean? So also, you know how I mentioned too before how I was like, is this part of the same wing or whatever? We have East and West wing. I don't think so. Now that I think about it, you know what I mean, a little bit more. We know that the hospital section is still operational. So I'm just confused, right? Because I don't know where that section, I guess the hospital section must have a similar looking section to the hotel. That's all, because you know what I mean? It wouldn't make sense that part of the wing of the hospital is burned down and just like abandoned. I mean, it could, but that's like that you're stepping on, you know what I mean? Like you're jumping conclusions at that point. A lot of presuppositions. So I wouldn't really, yeah, Barry S. Magnum, LOL. Yeah. What's like a python? But it looks like it has like an extended barrel almost. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the gun is just like that. You know what I mean? Like that big, and then it's just a huge freaking extended barrel. I don't know much about guns, but that's a if it's a Magnum at this early in the game, that'll be kind of. I don't know. I don't buy that. That seems a little bit, because this does feel like the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? Like as we discussed before. We know that, you know what I mean, she goes to the crime scene, you know what I mean? She then goes to hotel, is what seems to be happening, and then she gets to the hospital, because that's when she wakes up, right? She wakes up in the hospital. So it kind of goes like that, right? That's what I've ascertained from all of the trailers that we've seen. Crime scene in that like New York area, hotel, you know what I mean, to go and investigate her mom. And then I'm assuming, again, this right here, I'm not 100% sure on. This is just speculation, of course. But I'm assuming that she goes back to her mom's place, and then he's like, Grace, you're special or whatever. And then it cuts to the hospital, you know what I mean? That's when she wakes up upside down. That's what I'm assuming. And then obviously we have RC as well, right? Which could be at the end game or the end part of the game, right? Maybe it's not a weapon. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to say that that's not a weapon. I don't like. It might not be like a weapon of traditional sense of like it being a Magnum, but it might just be like a weapon in the sense of like a mine thrower or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, like something like that. I'm trying to think of other examples, not just the mine thrower. Like the bolt, I guess bolt thrower is the same thing, right? It's just the remake version. But yeah, I don't know, Wesker, bro. That's too big even for a Magnum. I mean. I don't know, JP Gaming. Have you seen the Magnums in Resident Evil? Like the elephant killer in Resident Evil 6 was freaking huge, bro. Did you forget the Magnum? What's the other Magnum called in RE4? The hand cannon. Did you forget about the hand cannon? Like I think the hand cannon's even bigger, bro. The elephant killer is like probably like up to here, bro. It's huge. Nah, dude. A hook shot, maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good example though. That's a good example. Yes, something like that. It could be, right. Or did I'm trying to think in the demo, because we saw so much footage that was just kind of just thrown out there. Like is mostly just people that reposted it, people that played the demo. I'm trying to say, remember when she picked up those like attraction things, and I think she threw them. Yeah, I think there was footage of her throwing it. Because I was gonna say, what if this is like almost works like that? Like you fill it up with like stuff and then you shoot it. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, but I mean it could. You know what I mean? Almost like how grenade launchers work in Resident Evil. You know what I mean? Something like that. But Or who knows, guys? Maybe it's just a Magnum, and I'm just overthinking this. like this is we're just speculating here, right? So, yeah, right. Very Magnum was here. Yeah. And like I said, Elephant Killer RE6. We got the hand cannon and RE4. You know what I mean? The remake and also in the OG. So yeah, like there's a lot of big freaking cannons in this game. That's why I feel strange. I'm like, why are we getting this so early in the game? Because this looks like it's early. Like this is like the beginning parts of her journey. And, you know, there's evidence that supports this because, you know what I mean? We see her running from the creature. And also, another thing I didn't mention too is the location. This looks like the location, right? We know that this is the main hall because you remember we kind of saw that other glimpse in the previous dissection video where we kind of saw that like that thing grabbing her and like getting hit by the light. But there was like almost like wasn't there like a gated area in that? Or is this the same thing? Is this the same door? I don't remember. I think there was like a gate. Yeah, there was a gate and it went up and that's when she went under and then she was looking at it and the thing came out and was like burning or whatever and then, you know, the thing pulled her back in. So, no, I think this is it's still the main hall for sure, right? It's in the hospital. We know that for sure, but this must be a different door, right? And this is when we know that when she gets to this location, she has a handgun and whatever this is. So, kind of just piecing it together, right? What if it shoots like UV capsules or something to hurt the stalker? Ooh, Zach, something like that. That's a very good theory. Yes, that would be cool. Obviously, right now we're just speculating, but that's a very good idea, Zach. Yes, no, Zach, that would be cool. Yeah, because like I said, having a Magnum at the beginning is kind of intense. I mean, I'm trying to think like Resident Evil. When you get a Magnum, it's always like near the end game, right? Like even RE1 Remake, you get the Magnum in RE1 Remake doing that stupid puzzle where you get like the graveyard, like all like the original. And that's because the devs didn't have enough time to do it. They didn't have time, so you just have to pick up like the emblems and put them on one grave, and then they'll just give you the thing. And that's when like you're in the cemetery area. So it's like almost like middle part of the game, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit more. And trying to think, RE2 Remake, you don't get the Magnum until you leave the first area for Leon. So, I mean, depends too on the scenario. You could get it after you fight Birkin in the police station underground, or you could get it before if it's B scenario. RE3 Remake, RE3 Remake had a Magnum, but I think it was later in game, wasn't it? This is just something that I've never thought. I recently played 2, 3, 4 remakes. It's like fresh in my mind, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's almost like middle game. So if it is a Magnum, then that would mean that this is the middle of the game. Okay, that's it. Resident Evil. Okay, so wait, what was that? Let's go back. I wasn't expecting like a post-credit like at the end trailer. All right, what's this? Who the hell is this? Ooh, is this the villain? Wait, is this the villain? This looks like the Hound Wolf Squad. What the hell? This looks like the Hound Wolf Squad, like Chris's squad. You know, like they had like Umber Eyes and all those other dudes. Like they had these goggles like this. I mean, it could just them be reusing the same asset, but what the yo? Like, what is that? Wait, so is one of the guys just one of the Hound Wolf squads? That's the guy that killed her mom? Is this a different guy too? I mean, we see his face cracked. I mean, the other guy looked like he was broken. I'm assuming he's got like the trench coat, so he's got the long kind of hair. Yeah, is this a huge connection to the Hound Wolf squad?
Terminate Miranda and rescue Rose. That's the mission.
They have like four little goggles, but you see that helmet, and then there's like a little R2 thing over there. I don't know. It looks like R2D2 right now from this angle, but you know what I mean. So there's 4 things. All right, hold up. Yeah, the helmet looks like it's there. Wait, hold up. The helmet looks like it's there. Now, obviously, the mask is a bit different. I mean, it could just be Capcom reusing the same thing. But that looks kind of suspicious, bro. What is this? 1, 2, and then 3 over here. We don't see the top of his head, but this is the helmet. And then, do you know what I mean? Do we have the little R2 up there? Like what? What is this? Wait, didn't director also say that we weren't gonna get like? Oh, sorry, my bad. You guys can't see what the frick I'm showing you guys. What I was gonna say is that didn't the director also say that that you know what I mean? We weren't going to get like they weren't focusing on RE8's story. So what's this? It's just like an asset. It's just an asset that they're reusing. What? Like, yeah. I mean, I know some people are really distrusting of the director and stuff. There's been a lot of people that have been doing that copium, right? They've been smoking that copium, saying that Lisa Trevor is gonna be in the new, and it's like, bro, like the director already said no. All right, shut your face. Okay, shut up. Stop believing in those freaking theories, bro. Like he basically called that out. All right, like what do you want? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I like how it almost looks like I wrote ET up here. Anyways, but that's what I mean, right? I mean, I'm trying to say, you know, if I'm going to take the director at face value, and by the way, there's no evidence for me to not take the director at face value. He's never lied in the past. You know what I mean? Like the only thing that Capcom has done that's been kind of fishy is they'll do like the Marvel thing where they'll post a trailer that has nothing to do with the game, like the end product of the game. Resident Evil 8 Village, it looked like the villagers were going to have a huge part of the game. RE4 Remake had Ashley walking in the intro sequence. That's the only time where you're like, okay, what the hell is this, bro? But you know what I mean? I've never, to my knowledge, I've never seen that a Capcom dev has spoken out and said a lie that would make people suggest or even come up with this like, oh no, the Capcom's lying. It's so obvious. Like, no, okay, literally that's never happened. Okay, like unless you want to name me a couple of times for you to, you know what I mean, suspect that. So I mean, there's just people that are smoking copium. We're gonna switch, boys. Oh, wait. It's coming on Nintendo Switch too? And it's not coming on PS. Okay, I was going to say, is it coming on Xbox One and PS4? I hope not. Just because, like, we don't need it to be on there, bro. Like, literally, we don't. But, yeah, okay. It's going to come out on Nintendo Switch. All right. I mean, I haven't played on the Switch. Let me know how it's been. But anyways, let's go back. I want to watch the Nintendo Direct. Somebody said, I think it was AdJ on Discord. By the way, huge thank you. He said that there was, like... Resident Evil was at the Resident Evil 9 thing was at the bottom. Yeah, I think right here. So I think we'll just look at it really quick, see if there's any differences. Yeah, this looks like really bad. Like the quality, I mean. It's because it's the live stream. Didn't we see a fire? Wait. Didn't we see a fire erupt? You remember there was a guy and it looked like there was a table. This is where the fire happened. So the hotel, this is her going to that hotel area, right? This isn't a recent fire, or is it? Or maybe there's just two fires. But I'm just trying to say, remember like before we saw a dude that was like on the floor and then there was like one of these tables that was like right here or whatever, and then there's like a bunch of flames or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I assume that this was the same fire of her, you know what I mean, talking to her mom and being like, Mom, and there's a huge fire behind them. That's what I was assuming, but or this is just a different, maybe it's just the same MO, you know what I mean? The killer did something else in another crime scene and then he killed. Either that or this is the hotel. Wait a second. No. Wait a second. No, I don't think this is the same location that she was just in. I mean, obviously this is speculation. We don't have full context until we actually play the game, but see how the lighting is like this? You know what I mean? It's almost like gray, raining, kind of, you know what I mean? It's that kind of light, you know what I mean? That kind of lighting. So this is that one scene. It looks like she's in the back alleys.
Getting all these strange deaths, huh?
This is the same. Oh, wait. But this is the same lighting. This looks like it's almost like a... Again, it could be this. It could be like a very close, you know what I mean, location. Or maybe it's just so similar, as mentioned with like the previous thing that I was mentioning, right? Is that it could be that the killer showed up in this crime scene, burned everything down after killing people, and then she's kind of getting a flashback, you know what I mean, of her, like what happened to her in the hotel and how that guy had the same MO, you know, the modus operandi, right, of her basically burning everything or whatever, right? Maybe it's just like a way to see the flashback. Maybe this is... So it's either or, I don't know. But this looks... Yeah, I don't know if it's the same lighting. Wait, no, it is the same lighting, because look, back there... Yeah, it looks like, yeah, see, we see the number 1 here, and we see, yeah, so it is the same location as the FBI dude. It's the same. But I was going to say, look at the lighting here. The lighting right here, that right there, you can kind of see a speck of light that's kind of gray. So again, this seems like it is. And obviously we saw the one, right? So this is the same location. Okay, so yeah,
Grace.
this looks like it's one scene. Okay, so it's not edited. It's not edited.
Stay close to me.
Yeah, she's getting a flashback now of what happened to her. So I think, like I said, maybe it's just the same killer did the same thing to a different location, but it's similar. And so that's kind of just in the game story, it's kind of bringing you back to that night when your mom died. You know what I mean? 8 years ago, you know, kind of like Leon when he's like 4 years ago, or whatever, when he's thinking of, or what is it, 6 years ago? It'd be 6 years ago. My bad. Anyways.
I'm coming. Keep moving. What's wrong? I'll explain later.
What was she doing? Wait. Is this the same painting? So is this the same location? So this is the hotel, or the hotel that they were staying at? Or is this just similar and she's just remembering? I think that's the same painting. Yeah, it looks like a hotel. Yeah, this is a hotel. Look, it's the same thing. Yeah, so this again, okay, wait, but is this the same place where the FBI was like, hey, like, you can come and look at it here? Wait, I want to see. There's like one section when we kind of see her looking at it. What did her mom hide? Yeah, I think that, yeah, we kind of have a little bit of a house here, a little bit of a sunset. It almost looks like a farm or something. And a bunch of, yeah, right here, I'm trying to see, is this the same lighting? So is that, am I right? Remember how before I was saying how this looks like it's in that location? The hotel was in there, right? And then the hospital was somewhere nearby. I'm thinking maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe that's what, because it's still raining. So I mean, geographically, I'm assuming it's gonna be the same thing. But then sometimes movies do that, or games where they just have everywhere where it's just raining, just for the same tone. You know what I mean? The consistency. But yeah, that looks like it's the same. So the FBI and her walking in, this is all the hotel, is it? You have to gather all the stuff that Alyssa left behind. Yeah, but I'm trying to see, is this the same? So you remember how before I was saying, when we started this video, I was saying she goes to the crime scene. The only thing I don't know if this crime scene is the one from 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Is this the one from 8 years in the hotel? Because my first guess was crime scene, then she goes to the hotel, and then she goes to hospital, because that's when she wakes up after being kidnapped. And it looks like this scene right here, her being shocked, she's gonna get basically grabbed by the guy. He's like, "You're special, Grace," or whatever. So my only problem here, the only thing that I'm trying to piece together, is whether or not this is the same location. So her going into the back streets and the alleys, her meeting up with the FBI agent, if that's the same location. You know what I mean? Is it the crime scene? And also, is it the crime scene from 8 years ago? And then after her investigating and picking up, like JP Gaming said, looking at all the stuff that her mom left so that she can piece together her investigation, is it then that she wakes up in the hospital, right? I mean, it seems like that's it, but the only difference is that whether this location is the same, right? That's the only thing that I don't know. And this is something that I suggested in like the first trailer dissection that we had, right? I think the second one, when we got the picture of her walking through that area that looked very East Coastish. So that's what I mean, right? The Alyssa Destiny knocking over the oil lamp scene could be different. I don't know. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? I mean, it could be, as mentioned before, this just two different locations burning as well. So it is just a different crime scene, and then a hotel, and then her going to the hotel, and then we're just seeing the hospital. Or the crime scene that we see with the FBI agent is the hotel area. I don't know. That's something that I'm kind of curious to see. We're going to continue and see if we can see anything. My guess is that, you know, this is definitely the hospital. It looks like this looks like a mansion that George Trevor built. You know what I mean? This is why I was putting two and two together, because remember my previous theory, I said that George Trevor is actually from the New York area, right? He's from the New York area. That's where he was born. Obviously, he's inspired a lot of different things. Like, he's inspired a lot of like yachts, right? Like in Revelations, we saw that, right? We saw the RE7 director, RE Revelations director put that two and two together. We also know he's made several mansions. I believe the mansion in Code Veronica was inspired by George Trevor. I don't know if it was actually done by him. I have to check the lore on that. It's been a hot minute since I played CV and looked at all the documents. So that's what I mean, right? So the only reason I said this might be East Coast is because the initial scene where we saw her kind of walking in that rainy area where she gets to the crime scene, it was raining. You know what I mean? And so I'm assuming that the hospital wasn't too far because it looks like she got nabbed, right? She looked like she got freaking kidnapped. Like the guy went behind her with the bag and he's like, Grace, you're unique, you're special. And then she's just passed out. And then she wakes up in the hospital, right? When she's in the hospital, we know that everybody gets killed. So this was an operational hospital, but that big freaking creature walks around, right, and starts eating people's heads off. It's like, what the hell is going on here? She's going around. I don't think she was there for, you know what I mean? It looks like that attack just happened. So I don't know why. You know, I was gonna say maybe it's at first, like when we first watched that bit of the trailer, I think I was in Gamescom. At first, I was suggesting, well, what if you know what I mean? They saved her or something like that, and they were just treating her. But the fact that she was upside down is kind of sus. It looks a little like shady. You know what I mean? That's not like a hospital that's like nice. What if this is like a research or they're like doing some weird stuff, experiments? I don't know. That wouldn't be far-fetched with Resident Evil, but I don't have that information. But I'm just speculating as far as I can, right?
You're not like
Yeah, this is the main hall. Yeah, so remember this? Wait. So wait a second. I remember last time she had a bandage right here. Remember I was saying how, you know what I mean? She should have a bandage here, but she also has a bandage like right up on the upper part of her arm, like this part right here. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of covered. It's underneath her shirt. I think I see it actually. I think I see it, right? Is that it or am I tripping? Is that it right there, guys? I think I'm tripping. I'm not tripping, right? Or is this... this kind of looks like just the architecture. It kind of looks like the hotel again. You know what I mean? It's kind of confusing. I know in games they reuse a lot of assets, so you can only take this with like just, you know what I mean? You can't go 100% with it because you're gonna see a lot of reused assets. So I'm pretty sure we saw that sighting. What was it called? I remember Lord was telling me last time. Lord Viglar. It had a weird name, but it also looks like the hospital. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. Anyways. So this right here, we know for certain this is the FBI location just because the lighting looks similar. That's the only bit of evidence that we have. Again, it's that very gray area. So that's what I'm assuming. That looks like it's different though. Wait. That looked like it was two different scenes spliced together. I mean, the quality for this stream is kind of like this Nintendo Direct is kind of bad. But no. Okay, so she has that. She's wearing a jacket. I don't think she's wearing a jacket in the next scene. No, she is. Okay, never mind. I'm tripping. She is. It's just why does she look all sweaty? Oh no, that's probably the rain. Okay, no. So it is the FBI, like the first initial thing, because that's her walking in the rain. Okay, yeah, all right. I thought she was like all sweaty, and I'm like, why? What's going on? I thought it was a different scene, like she was running from the creature or something.
Tell me what's going on. Something important.
Isolation ward. Yeah, right there. So you know how I was mentioning there's like a wound in her chest?
Something important.
Right there, we saw that there was a bandage. So she has two bandages here, right? I didn't want to bring up the other trailer, boys, but just wanted to show. That's the first bandage. That's the one I was talking about, the arm. And then she has like a bloody one right here, right? So just based on the logic of the games, that means that if we didn't see that she has this, then that happened before, but I don't know how it pieces together. You know what I mean? Click this video right here if you guys want to see the previous dissection video that I did for Resident Evil 9. And thank you again for everybody for watching.